Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Unity of Command 2 Blitzkrieg, the first DLC pack out for Unity of Command 2, which is a turn-based, strategy war game. It's a war game, but it's also kind of a strategy game. It came out sort of toward the tail end of 2020, and we've been playing this a fair bit. It's been a little while since we've streamed this game, but we've played a fair bit through the German campaign. We fought 2 battles in Poland, actually 3 battles in Poland. We fought the battle for the Low Countries in our last video. We've already taken Norway. So we are now on to the Sickle Stroke battle, which is one of the larger battles in the invasion of France. It is the breakthrough on the French border near the Ardennes, and it will lead up to the battle for Dunkirk, which will probably come later tonight. I'm assuming we'll play at least 2 battles tonight. It appears to be an 11-turn battle. It includes Army Groups A and Panzer Group Kleist, which are these two organizations up here, Army Group A, and then we've got Panzer Group Kleist up here. 7 command points for Panzer Group Kleist, 6 for Army Group A, 11 range for the trucks in both armies, and a pretty well put together force structure in terms of the level upgrades for operations and logistics and engineering, at least for Kleist. A as well. Everybody should be able to bombard, attack set piece attacks on fortifications, and those kind of things. So let's go ahead, let's jump in here and get playing here. You can see Sickle Stroke occurs on May 10th, 1940, or at least it starts then, while Allied armies race north to meet Heeresgruppe B, Army Group B, advancing through the Low Countries. It will attempt to race, or Army Group A attacks to the south. It will attempt to race through the Ardennes, aiming to cross the Muse River before the Allies can respond. If successful, this outflanking strike could throw the Allies into utter disarray. Speed will be paramount. Panzer Group Kleist is a novel formation consisting entirely of fully motorized units will lead the attack. Its performance will likely decide the outcome of the entire campaign. So we'll go ahead and start the scenario, jump right in, and see what we're working with here. Sickle Stroke Scenario Briefing, OKW Dispatch. Our surprise through the Ardennes is ready to commence. At your disposal are the best divisions Germany has to offer. Experience gained in the Polish campaign has led OKW to concentrate most of your armor into Panzer Group Kleist. This fully motorized command should lead your dash for the channel. Meanwhile, your infantry must attempt to keep pace and secure your flanks. Waste no time. Oh my goodness, I just totally looked away. Waste no time. It will not be long before the French realize what we're up to. The following units have been reconstituted by OKW after being destroyed in battle. The 2nd Infantry Division motorized. So you can see here is the map. We've got Luxembourg down here. We've got sort of the flank of the... I assume this is the flank of the Maginot Line here, these fortified locations near Saarbrücken, south of Metz. You can see Luxembourg is obviously unoccupied for us to race into. We'll have these fortifications on our flank, but the key is going to be to drive west along this rail line, force a crossing at Sedan, and then also at Dinant, and then drive further west, taking Léon, and then Abbeville up here on the flank. So we've got to take Arras and Abbeville up here. We've got 11 turns to do it all. You can see here we have multiple objectives. Léon, Arras, and Abbeville are the 3 objectives we have to take to win. So Léon, Abbeville, and Arras are these 3 locations right here. We also have to, or we have bonus objectives to take Amiens, which is where? Let's Calais. Where the hell is it? I'm sure I already looked at it. That's weird. Why do I not say... Oh, it's over here. Over here. So we've got to take this objective by turn 9. We have another objective to preserve our armor, so to lose less than 10 steps of armor by the time the scenario is over. That's a step is these little dots here, so lose fewer than 10 KIA of our armored units. We need to take the Sedan crossing by turn 4 to get a bonus objective, and also take the Dinant crossing by turn 4 for a bonus objective. And then we also want to take Calais by turn 9 for some HQ points. So you get plus 20 for your HQ by taking Calais, or Calais. You get 50 prestige for both Amin and preserving armor, and then you get whatever these plus 20s are for the Dinat and Sedan crossing. I'm guessing those are just scores. So that's the situation here. We are in the deployment phase, so I can actually make some tweaks or changes to my units to try and make them a little bit stronger or things like that. We do have 290 prestige that we can spend to try and make some of these units stronger. If we click on some of these units, let's take a look here. We do have some steps that we can assign to some of these lead units here. These guys are veterans. If we give them any more steps, their experience will drop below veterancy status, so I'd rather not do that. Let's see. We give this unit an extra step. They'll still be veterans, and they'll be huge with a total of 7 steps in this unit. They've already got artillery, so I'm not sure I want to do anything with that. These guys are regulars. I can't give them more troops there. Let's see here. We could give these guys some artillery since they are near the front. Artillery is very useful to have sort of in your lead units. So we'll do that. It'll cost us 20 prestige. We can give them maybe some armor. I don't know if I want to give them armor or not. What about some of these other units up here? What do we all want to deploy? I don't want to drop a unit that is a veteran unit to drop it below being a veteran unit. The veteran units tend to be a little bit smaller. That's because they've obviously taken casualties to this point in the campaign. Okay, what about our armored units here? Do we need to give them anything? We probably could afford to give these guys an extra armor step, so they have 6 steps, and then maybe some artillery to go along with them. It doesn't affect their mobility by the looks of it. So we'll do that. What about these guys down here? We'll give them an armor step. Also give them an artillery step. These mechanized troops. I'm spending quite a bit of prestige here, but I want to make sure that we buff these guys up. Okay. Reconnaissance would probably be a good thing to have. Mechanized troops, what do they already have? They've got a Stug 3 assault gun with them. Probably could add a... They're elite right now, actually, so adding it'll drop them below elite back to veteran. I don't want to do that, but I will give them some armor to go with them, I think. And then these mechanized units back here. Second ID is green, so we'll actually spend some prestige to get them to be a little bit stronger. I wish I had more artillery I could assign to some of these units. But I already deployed the artillery that I have. Alright. I think that's going to do it for my spending. Maybe these paratroopers need some reinforcements. Even though I'm going to drop them below being veterans and bring them back up to being... or these are mountain troops. I don't want them not to be veterans, but 2 steps isn't enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just give them the lot. So they're going to be huge but green. And then we'll give them some... we'll leave them as is. I don't know if they can fly or anything in this particular mission. If they can drop... Or no, again, they're mountain troops, so what am I saying? Alright. I don't want to give them that, because... Alright, let's see where we're at in terms of remaining units. We have 19 infantry strip reinforcements with Army Group A, as well as 6 armor steps. Panzer Group Kleist, meanwhile, has no reinforcements to deploy. Hey, Assignment Earth. Yeah, this is a fun game. It's a neat-looking game. It's interesting. It's pretty straightforward, too, in my opinion, for a war game. The Night Wolf, 49, thank you very much for the follow. All right. And Josie Bites, thank you for the follow. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this deployment phase. I already spent almost all my prestige, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it. Looks like we do get some reconnaissance here. We get some air recon. Now, we're going to be moving most of our troops up this rail line on Luxembourg. You can see our current supply situation is all our troops are in supply on the front lines. We have one depot to the north of Luxembourg. Here, it's a 2-truck depot. We have 2 trucks in our motor pool that can be assigned to new depots. The rail line will give us automatic supply anywhere along the rail line, unless there's a bridge that's destroyed. So I think what we're going to do here is, the problem is there's no good roadways here. Like, they can't, I guess they can advance toward Liège and then west toward the Dinant crossing. That is possible. You can see there's a roadway here. Roadways don't give automatic supply in the way that railheads do. But you can see there's a roadway north here, and then it connects with a railway in Liège, and then has a road further west toward the Dinant crossing. So we could do that. Let's do a little bit of recon up there to see what might be up in that direction. So it does look like there's some Belgian troops along that front. I'm going to need more recon than this. Ugh, I don't have any extra recon. I'm wondering if there's another unit here. But I don't want to waste my recon. So what we could do is we could advance these guys here. So they'll get some eyes on these 2 units. I guess we'll just advance here. Oh, that was a mistake. Can I undo that? Ooh. Let's see. It looks like there's some pretty good troops. These guys are veterans, and they're in a trench. So it's going to be a problem. I would have preferred to have armor to deal with them. I could use some air to try and soften these guys up a bit. Alright, that was actually a pretty good attack there. I'm going to pull the infantry back, even though that's kind of a waste, and then I'm going to... This armor still won't do anything versus them, huh? Alright, is it because these guys are green? No, they're veterans. I'm not sure why. These guys will do better on the offensive against them? Alright, so we drove them back. We'll have our armor blitz through here. Finish those guys off and destroy them. We get an overrun, which means we get to attack again. Not sure I want to attack them, though. Okay. Yeah, History of the Great War. I'm kind of expecting that there would be an Eastern Front DLC. That would be my assumption. Obviously, to your point, they haven't announced it yet. But I just don't... To me, it seems like you would think they would. They would do it. Alright, we're going to use flying artillery here, which is a devastating sort of pre-planned artillery bombardment from the air using kind of Stukas. We'll attack there. You can see we successfully drove those enemy troops back. Go ahead and attack him again. Drove him back again. Doesn't look like I can follow that attack up, unfortunately. So, we badly destroyed them. We got them out of their trench. Or we badly crippled them, got them out of their trench. So they'll be weaker next turn when we try and break through up near Liège on the next turn. Meanwhile, I don't think there's any enemy troops until this location to the west of Luxembourg, so let's go ahead and race our armor forward there. Try and attack them. I'll keep my flying artillery probably until the next turn when we start attacking Sedan. Right, they're going to protect our flank. Need to make sure we keep that rail line secure. Keep our supply lines safe. Advance with our armor aggressively, trying to blitz through the gaps here. Okay. Race forward with our armor and our mechanized troops. That's the priority of this advance at the moment. Fill up the gaps with our infantry. Okay. So the infantry will advance more on the northerly route, although we will have armor support it. The bulk of the armored spearheads trying to race through here in the south toward the Sedan crossing. We have to take these two crossings by turn 4, and then we've got a whole bunch of fortifications in our way. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and probably use this flying artillery card here in another turn. Do we get any reinforcements of this? One use left this turn, one use left this scenario. So, I think we get... Yeah, it doesn't say that it leaves the scenario after this turn, so I think we're fine there. It's kind of everybody who needs to move is moved. So I think we'll end the turn. By the way, reinforcements, we get a bunch of infantry turn 2. The enemy gets a lot of reinforcements after turn 5. Minimal reinforcements next turn, though, so that's good. Alright, enemy cavalry's moving around. Most of their troops stayed in their fortifications along the river to the south. So that's good for us. I didn't even check my supply lines. That might have been stupid. What's our supply situation? In theory should be good. We have 3 units, or 3 hexes here that are out of supply, but there's no units in those hexes. Okay, let's hit them here. Try those guys back. Do we not? We didn't destroy those guys? Give me a break. Alright, what are we at casualty-wise for our armor so far? We've lost 3 armored steps already? Shit. Yeah, I don't think there's any way I don't lose at least 10 steps of armor. I guess I'll try and just attack more aggressively with my infantry and just eat the casualties in the interest of keeping things moving. All right, we'll race forward with our armor there. We'll overrun the enemy and capture their supply depot. We lost a casualty there? Seriously? Let's give me a recon flight out here. Alright, we are at the Danette crossing now. Recon down here. Okay. So we'll move our... mechanized troops here, adjacent to Sedan. These guys around here. We'll actually cut the supply to this cavalry unit out in the front of the enemy position. Okay. Not using my infantry the way I said I wanted to. Mostly using these guys to protect our flank from these troops in the forts as we advance. I guess that one armored casualty I was upset about wasn't actually a casualty. It looks like it was just a, they have some disruption, but they're still kicking. What I really need here is like a pontoon bridge. Can I lay that? I should have laid it last turn. Can't lay that up here? Oh, they're not in range. These guys have that trait? No, they just have repair bridge. Alright, move the headquarter unit forward. You know, these guys can repair bridges. But there's no bridges to repair. Pontoon bridge in the north would sure be nice. Let me more easily swing up over the right. Alright, what's the supply situation going to look like? So we're going to need to drop... Let's drop some supply here. Put 2 trucks there. That should power my advance. Meanwhile, I've got 2 bombing strikes I can still launch. So we're not going to try and cross the river yet. Let's go ahead and hit these guys that are kind of in on our flank a little bit. Mechanized troops there, take a few casualties. Chill Coton Berlays, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciated. Alright, since we're moving our other depots forward... Oh, I need to keep them there for one more turn. Alright, so I'm not going to use my flying artillery this turn. I'll probably save it for the next turn or 2 as we try and go for the forts either crossing at the Dinette or at Sedan. So we'll hold off on using that this turn. That means I don't really have anything else to do. I do have to deploy some new units, I guess. So we've got a bunch of new infantry divisions arriving in the north. Actually, what I should do is swing these guys into the south. They can replace some of the better units that I had up front that were going to be guarding my flank. So I'll start swapping some of these units out as we shift this line left. And then we'll go ahead and end the turn and move forward to turn number 3. And see what turn number 3 has in store for us. Alright, so the French are going to try and attack some of our units here along the flank, at least one of them, and that was it. So their 1 cavalry unit that left the forts did attack and did quite a bit of damage to one of our units here. So by turn 4, which means we have to take the Dinette and Sedan both this turn. One of them might be realistic. Probably not both. Alright, let's attack with our mechanized first. Drive them back. Follow up with our other mechanized unit. Get them back in here. Alright. Finish those guys off, so good for that. Okay. I guess we'll go for Sedan now, see if we can't flank him. So we're going to go with the flying artillery here at the crossing. We'll destroy the fort. We'll also hit him. We'll give 4 units of suppression there. We'll get a KIA. Nice, so we drove him back. So my armor can actually follow up and pursue across the river, and we took the Sedan crossing, so we get a bonus there. So that was one of our first secondary objectives. Now we need to see if we can take the Dinet crossing, which is here, and is not as well fortified. We also did just get a flying artillery card, so we'll get that. I'll deploy the one we just got and go for the crossing. We get 4 support damage. We'll attack. We didn't drive him back, huh? Well, so let's move these guys north of the river. Move this infantry in here. Pursue across the river with our armor, and overrun and wipe out the last unit there. So we took both secondary objectives. The second objective gave us an extra Opal Blitz card. And then we can pursue with our armor further. And we've got both river crossings here. So the northern and the southern river crossings, both in our hands. Supply situation is actually okay right now for those troops on the front. Now they may launch a furious counterattack at the crossing of Sedan. So let's attack these guys first. We'll get 3 KIA. Then I'll pursue with armor. Okay, so we've gotten across the river and 1 more hex to the west. Love to swap them out with slightly better defensive troops, but... Alright, can we move? No. So these guys can move. Looks like they pulled their cavalry back. Alright, some of these new troops coming online. That way. Okay. I don't really have places to put all these units. Reinforce this unit. It just became green, but whatever. So, should be good here. Across the Muse on 2 locations. I'm curious to see how the enemy may respond to this. What's the supply situation look like on the front? Everybody should be in supply. I'd like to pull some of these depots back a little bit in the rear, but they're still providing supply to some of these units up here, I think. So if I cut this back, actually no one falls out of supply that has any troops. So we'll get those 2 trucks back, and we can push them forward next turn. Okay, so we've taken 2 of the initial objectives here. We've got till turn 6 to preserve... Well, actually, we've got to preserve armor for the rest of the battle. We've already lost 6 steps of armor, so we're going to lose that. But we've got till turn 9 to take our next objectives. Actually, 6 for Leon, so we've got 2 turns to take Leon here. That might be a tougher task because there are a wall of Frenchmen between us and the city, and... If I'm trying to attack from the wrong side of the Muse, that'll be difficult. I need to get across the river, and right now I've only got 2 units across the river in the south. In the north, we've got a couple armored units as well. We might be able to flank, but there are these fortifications here south of Mons, which will probably refuse the enemy flank northwest of Mezieres. So we'll have to see how that plays out. How's Army Group H doing? We probably should start to move this headquarter forward. So move these guys west this way, I guess. It'll get everybody back in communication with the headquarter unit there. Panzergruppe Kleist, they're in comms with everybody. Could try and build a pontoon bridge. Could build one here. That'll give us easier access across the river. We'll have 2 spots we can cross. But we already have a bridge here, and they can't destroy it unless they counterattack successfully. So that might be a waste of points. Maybe give some emergency... No, we can't do that. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just end this turn, move forward to turn number 4, and see what happened. Oh, I didn't deploy my reinforcements, did I? Whoops. Wheeler Salem, thanks for the follow. Enemy counterattack west of Sedan. Didn't really do much. I mean, it destroyed some armored steps, but we've already sort of lived with the fact that we're not going to win that or succeed in that objective. We do have more units deployable for us now, so that's good. Okay, we're up to 7 armored steps lost. Okay, I'd like to go directly south toward this base. Okay. Interesting that there's apparently no troops in this fort here. Okay, let's attack this enemy mechanized unit. Drive it back, and apparently run straight through the enemy lines. There's no one here along this railway. I don't know that that was the smartest thing to do. It is a little bit blitzkrieg-y. We did find a hole. I don't really have the troops in there to protect the flank. I guess I could raise some mechanized troops out that way. Okay. The British are going to be out here toward Arras, so they're going to be on our flank. I need to move one more unit north here. But I don't really want it to be those guys. Alright, that should protect them from getting in behind me. I can drop more supply somewhere over here. Alright, we need a pontoon bridge here. Too bad it takes a turn to build. Okay. Get 3 there and an overrun. So all these troops in these forts that aren't, like, entrenched are kind of chumps. But again, we have to keep protecting our flank with the infantry. So the troops near Mezeries, if you will, both these units are going to be cut off. Alright, meanwhile, race these guys west to continue to support us as we advance. Gotta get you back on the rail line. So they could advance toward the city of Luxembourg, but I doubt they'll leave their forts there to do it. Meanwhile, I haven't used my bombers yet this turn. I really should have. Let's try bombing these mechanized troops. They could pose a problem on our flank. Okay. Yeah, I'm really going for it with that move. Driving way up over the flank. Okay. Alright, so we need to deploy some... Let's see, what do we want to deploy and where? Alright, so we'll deploy the trucks here. That actually was the wrong placement. I wanted it here. Fuck! Well, hopefully these guys don't attack across the river and drive back my mechanized and take that depot. Assuming they don't, we should have supply in the front here supporting this flanking maneuver. I mean, we're using armor for what it's meant for, right? Finding the weak spot and driving into the weak flank. All right. So we'll end the turn here. Actually, we've got more units to deploy. I keep forgetting about that. Ooh, we got some mechanized troops. Great. SS Totenkopf. All right. Get those guys to the front. I'm sure they're a good unit. Just... Alright. The enemy's going to start getting a lot more reinforcements, by the way. They're getting 3 more this turn, and then they'll get a whole bunch turn 5, as well as the British start to show up. So things will start getting real difficult. Oh, I'm aware, Bottles. Hope that salient doesn't become a pocket. Me too. We should pull these guys back 1 hex so they're all on a line. I would love it if the enemy pulls their troops in front of Leon back and then tries to attack our spearhead here. I'm most concerned about this French motorized unit and this French motorized unit, because we've seen allied motorized and armored units, and there's an armored unit down here, can be a pain in the ass. But I'm not as worried if they pull units out that are in front of our main thrust here to the south, because that'll make our job easier to advance and break through. The hope is just that this situation causes them to weaken their front elsewhere to allow us to form a more cohesive front. All right, so we'll end this turn. Time to get some 88s. I mean, 88s are sort of represented in the game. They are, but they're like a separate, kind of like a separate like step that can be added. I'm also assuming some of the mechanized units just have them. Oh, the French are going bridge-busting bonkers. Whoa! You see all those bridges they just blew? It's going to make our advance a little more difficult, I assume. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Unity of Command 2 Blitzkrieg, the new DLC pack out for Unity of Command 2, which allows you to play through the Second World War from the German perspective. Unity of Command 2's base game looks at the Allies. Blitzkrieg adds the German side for a campaign that takes place from 1939 until 1940 or 41. I can't quite remember. I think it's early 41, basically up to the invasion of Russia. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a really enjoyable series. It's been a little while since we've shown one of these on the channel, but it was just because a bunch of other stuff came out that I kind of got diverted to. But I did decide to come back to this on my live stream the other night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down below, and we'll pick up the remainder of this battle in our next episode.